you awake now? Am I on? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So are you awake?
No.
It's 9:27. Like, I don't know about you, but I am a mom of a 7-year-old, so
He's so
waking up
cute.
early,
He is the cutest thing
stepping
ever.
on Legos. I'm a Ninja Turtle, Power Ranging, Robloxing, saying no to certain things kind of mom. But I'm also a cool mom. I am a cool mom. How many of you guys got a cool mom?
I'd say my mom's cool.
Not many hands went up. So let's just talk a little bit today. I got a little bit of time. I know today is Wellness Day, and I just want to give it up for Addie. Y'all get up for Addie again. So I'm totally about to embarrass her because I don't know if the whole world knew, but did you guys know that Addie was in a pageant last year? She was in my pageant. So when you heard her introduce me about the Young Miss Buffalo pageant, Addie was my second runner-up.
Applause for me.
It's your birthday. Okay, so totally not about me today. Totally not about Addie. It's all about all of you. And so we're going to just talk a little bit today about how you can, for one, get out of your own way by recognizing the fact that you actually matter. How many of you guys have dreams? Wait. Like kind of dreams like you are aspirational dreams, not like you're on space. Right? Like dreams of like finishing school or maybe going to college or maybe starting a business or just getting out of your parents' house. Right? You got that?
Retweet.
Somebody's like, no, I'm good. So I have 2 twin nieces, and they just graduated from high school last year. And I have one niece who, her new statement now is, TT, I'm grown, I bought my own TV. Well, because she still lives at home with my parents. Yeah, but she's grown because what? She's 18. But she's going to college. She really didn't have a job. She get a little bit of money, dollar bills, But when I tell her, I'm like, you are totally not grown. Like, just because you're 18, you're not grown. She's like, TT, I'm grown. I bought my own TV. That's her excuse for being grown. But then I have another niece who decided that she wanted to be grown. And when she realized working, because she had a job, and she was going to college, and she comes up to me and she's like, TT, I'm not ready anymore. I don't know where we are. I'm not ready. And so many of you might have dreams. Maybe it's not to move out yet, right? Because where are my freshmen at? I need y'all to make some noise. You're not in class. They raise their hand like, present. Where are my freshmen at? Where are my sophomores at? Okay. Where are my juniors at? Where are my seniors at? We got freshmen, we got sophomores, we got our juniors, we got our seniors. And I imagine, obviously, I've been there. I remember what it was like in high school. There were some really good days, there were some really bad days, there were some awkward days, there were some fun days, not so fun days. And one of the things that I wish someone would have told me in high school was that I mattered. And not only that I mattered, but that my voice mattered. And that I had influence not only on myself, but on the people around me. Do you know that? How many people know that you matter? And guess what? Don't laugh.
No, that's okay, you matter.
Hey, no laughing, no judgment. Because the reality is, I was just like you. I a lot of different things in high school. I was a cheerleader, I was on a track team. My senior year, I was student council vice president. I was involved in a whole bunch of stuff. But even at that age, I didn't know that I mattered. I didn't know that my voice mattered. I didn't know that I had access to people, teachers, friends, who I actually could influence. You need to know that. You need to know that even in your soft, quiet voice, that what you say matters. You need to know that even if you're like, yeah! You matter. And not because you're the loudest in the room, but because your voice matters. And so, I want to just share a few things with you. Over these next few minutes, as freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, the seniors, you guys are like literally on your way out. And so you're getting ready to start a new chapter. And you need to know that as you start this new chapter, whether you're becoming a freshman in life in general, so you may decide not to go to college, you may decide to start to get a job, you may decide to take a break, whatever it is that you decide to do, you're going to be a freshman in that new level of life. But you also need to know that when you look in the mirror, that the person that you see in the mirror, and I'm willing to bet, I've done this exercise, Addie is familiar with this exercise, that I'm willing to bet that if I stood in a mirror right here, and I asked each and every one of you to take a look in the mirror and tell me what you see, you would struggle.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, most of you, I'm sure, don't spend a lot of time looking in the mirror from top to bottom, unless it's kind of like, oh yeah, all right.
Pimple.
Cute, ain't it? But to really look at myself, flaws and all, pimples, cute little afro, with a little gray sparklies in there, not always dressed up. I am totally the mom with the Uggs and the sweats taking my son to school, so do not get excited when you see me out and act like you don't know me.
It's true.
Because I'm only one person. I dressed up for you. But looking at myself in the mirror, if you look yourself in the mirror, would you be able to have fabulous things to say to yourself about yourself? Would you? When I ask people this question, some people don't always have good things to say. If I say, tell me some things that you want to work on. Oh, my hairs. Oh, I wish I would change my nose. Oh, I could do this. Oh, I got big feet. I got fat toes. It look like sausages. Like, all kinds of stuff. But I said, tell me what's fabulous about you. And I get this. Crickets. And so I want to challenge you, as my shirt says, to speak life. I created this brand a few years ago, really just because with my company called Trueheart Speaks, I know that my mandate is to speak life. My mandate is to tell you how fabulous you are, how smart you are, how amazing you are, that you can do anything that you put your mind to, despite what anybody else is saying. How does that make you feel? Good. Imagine if you could say that to yourself every day. I am amazing. I don't care what other people think. I bring something to the table every single day. I have something to give to this world. My voice matters. The words that I say when they come out of my mouth, they speak life, not death. How many of you at any given day, when you talk to your friends, when you talk to the people in class, or when you talk about people, are you speaking life or are you speaking death? And when I say speak death, I mean, are you gossiping? Are you talking down? Are you ridiculing? And I just have the philosophy that what people say about me is not about me, but it's a reflection of them. And so, unfortunately, when we talk bad about other people, that's a reflection of the fact that we don't feel good about ourselves. And so on Wellness Day, I want to encourage you to speak life. Not only to each other, Not only about each other, but to yourself. I want you to say this, I matter. Say it. I want you to. You all look so funny.
So do you.
So I'm going to tell you to say, I matter.
I matter!
I matter.
I matter!
I matter. My voice matters. My voice matters. My voice matters. My life matters.
My voice matters!
My life matters.
My life matters!
Now, for some of you, it might be all game and it might be all fun and it might be like, yeah. But for some of you, you need to hear that. You need to hear that. You need to know that it's okay to ask questions. That asking questions isn't dumb and it isn't lame and it doesn't take up a lot of time. How many of you have that, like that one student in class that asks like 10 questions and you're like ready to go? Right?
I'm next.
Right? But guess what? How many of you, when they asked the question, you had the same question but you didn't want to ask because you were like looking at the time like, shoot, we gotta go. I'll figure that out at home. Right?
You're asking questions.
How many of you look at other people on the outside and then by some happenstance you find out kind of like what they might be going through and you're like, oh, I'm going through the same thing. I thought I was the only one. And so in a safe space like this, which a lot of times we feel like high school is not a safe space, it can be a safe space. It can be a place where we're my educators and administrators. Can you guys stand up for a second? Woo! What you do matters. What you say matters. How you interact with these kids on every single day, it matters. Because some of these kids, when they go home, they don't get what you give them. And my challenge to you today is to think about, I want you to stand for a reason because I want you all to see who's here for you. And I'm doing this all at the same time because you all are going to be accountable to each other when I'm done. I want you to think about why you decided to get into education. What type of impact you decided that you wanted to make. What type of kids you wanted to interact with. What kind of difference you wanted to make. I want you to think about who you were when you were 14, 15, 16, 17, maybe 18, maybe there might be some 13-year-old freshmen here, I don't know. But I want you to think about where you were when you were in high school. And my challenge to you is to be to them who you needed them. I'm going to say that again. My challenge to you is to be to them, these 500 or 600 plus students who might drive you crazy on the daily, because that's what high school would do. But be to them what you needed then. Or be to them who you had then. In the hustle and bustle of what you do, we sometimes forget why we are here. We forget that we matter. We forget that we have influence. We forget that the one thing that you can say to these kids can change your life for forever. And so I want you to stand simply because I want to recognize you for being here, for being present, for being intentional, for staying up late, for waking up early, for being to some of these kids who, and speaking into them. And my challenge to you is even do more. Why? Because in this day and age of social media, You are competing with a whole lot of different voices and a whole lot of different things. And the reality is that your one voice does have the power to change lives. And so if nobody told you that, or you haven't heard it in a long time, and I know you might be feeling uncomfortable standing up, but this is my recognition to you to say thank you. That not only do I appreciate you, that Ms. Baumgartner appreciates you, Mr. Kevin appreciates you. I had conversation with them in preparation, and they appreciate you. And so I know that some of you are like, your armpits are sweating, and you're like, oh, she don't have me stand up here. But from the front all the way to the back, I want you to know that what you do with these kids every single day matters. And I want you to get out of your own way, your own stinking thinking, if wondering, am I even making an impact? Am I getting through to these kids? Are they even hearing what I'm saying? Am I even connecting with them? Let me tell you that you might not hear for another 4, 5, or 6, or 10 years. And one day there will be a student when you're in the grocery store who will tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, Mrs. M, do you remember me? I was in your class. I just wanted to say, hey, you were like one of my favorite teachers, or you were one of my favorite whatevers. You know how I know? Because I've been working with kids for over 15, maybe even some 20 years. I know I only look 20, I know. But I get that. And sometimes it's the ones who you don't even think are listening. And so I want you to know very quickly that you matter, you make a difference, and whatever self-talk you've been telling yourself that tells you like, oh God, like I don't know what I'm doing here. You're here for a reason. You have purpose, you have intention, and we appreciate you. So let's give it up for our educators and teachers. Is a lot of times you all may be going through things and you may not feel like you got a safe space to share whatever you're going through, and you don't feel comfortable at home, but you need to know you've got a team of people that you can share with you. You got to know that. You got to know that what you're going through as students, because let me tell you, I know like high school can be harsh. Kids can be harsh. Kids can be mean. But they can also be loving. They can also be kind. They can also be gentle. They can also be affirming. And so my challenge to you is to be those things. To be those things. My challenge to you is to think about how you at this specific space and age in your life can make a difference, not only in school, but in your communities and in this world, because it's happening. Kids all over the country. There's a young lady who I know personally. Her name is Sandra. Started a business at 9 years old. She's now 18, and her business is probably grossing $500,000. And she sells lip gloss. It's a plant-based, It's a plant-based organization, vegan-based, where she sells scrubs and lotions and lip balms. And simply because one day her dad told her he was not going to buy her any more lip balms, she had to learn how to make her own. And now she travels across the country, sharing her story and empowering other kids to be in a space where they can create, that they're not too young. Because some people will tell you, well, you're too young to start a business. Or you're too young to do that. Who do you think, like, what would you think about doing? Who does that? Let me tell you, there are some people out in this world who are doing some amazing things who are your age. And I've met them. Who are doing amazing things. Why did I tell you that? Because sometimes you're like, oh God, do I even have like purpose? Is there a reason why I'm here on this earth? My answer to you is yes, there is a reason. My challenge to like going to school. I'll just say it. I think I took a public speaking course in college, but the first time I fell in love with public speaking was standing on a platform or in front of a group of students like you, and I was wearing the title of Miss Buffalo. I did pageants for about 7 or 8 years. I competed heavily. I traveled across the country. I was a dancer. And I had been asked to come to speak to my elementary school to talk to I think it was like the 7th and 8th graders, about the impromptu type things, stay in school, don't do bad things, listen to your teachers, all that kind of stuff that, is good in 7th and 8th grade, I guess. But I remember standing and watching a group of people, and I'm watching how engaged the students were. And I thought, I hit the jackpot. I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I didn't find it in the classroom. I found it by doing something else that I loved, which was dancing. I love being on stage. I love performing. And so I challenge you to find something that you love, and it may not lead to your purpose, but it might lead to what you ultimately will do. I challenge you to try new things. And don't just turn up your nose at it, because it could be the very thing that could make you $500,000. I challenge you to not spend so much time on Instagram and Snapchat and whatever else you guys are on, looking at everybody else's life, comparing yourself to everybody else's life, but doing nothing about your life. It might sound harsh, but we spend a lot of time, oh my God, look at this, oh, I got, what's it called, what you guys doing, the streaks, the Snap streaks? They drove me crazy, those Snap streaks. They're like, oh my God, you can't take our phone, we're gonna mess up our streaks.
Literally acting.
They drove me crazy. But when you're doing all that kind of stuff, and you're streaking, and you're doing whatever, I set myself up. But when you're doing all of that kind of stuff, and you're focusing so much on, if I spend so much time on you, and I spend so much time on how beautiful you are, and how beautiful your hair is, and how I love that sweatshirt, and how your smile, as you smile more, is so vibrant, like just how the light hits your beautiful face. Like, if I spend so much time focusing on her, where do I have time to focus on me? You get where I'm going with that? Where do I have time? And I admire her beauty. I love that she's beautiful. But where do I take time for me to admire my beauty? To admire my intelligence? To admire who I am? To take time to figure out who I want to be when I grow up? I want you to do things differently. You all are getting ready to pass out when I say this, but turn the phone off. And I don't mean forever, but I mean to engage, to talk to people, to engage with people, to spend time with yourself. Not just playing on your phone or doing whatever, or texting all the time. Some of you spend more time with your phone than you do with people. Literally. And not just because you carry your phone around with you every day, but because even when you're in a room with people, you have the phone. You're not engaging. And so there is no opportunity to learn anything about yourself or learn anything about other people because you're spending all your time on your phone. And so as I close, and you can get to, I think it's your next class or your next session, I really want to leave this with you. And it's a story, it's a sad story, but it's not really a sad story. It's not supposed to be a sad story. I go live, I used to go live every single day on Facebook, Instagram, and Periscope with my online show that I call the Morning Life Story. And the Morning Life Story is basically just where I teach people how to get out of their own way, get to the business of living. I give them tips, tools, and strategies on just sometimes we don't know how to get started. It's like, I want to do this, but I'm not sure. And so there was a woman who followed me every single day, and she was in California, mind you. I go live every morning at 7:15. And so now I've switched from Mondays to Wednesdays, so it's every Wednesday. But she was every Wednesday, so they're 3 hours apart. So at 4 o'clock in the morning in California, she was online with me. And she would comment, and we were talking. We got an opportunity to talk on the phone one day. And it was a couple days before New Year's Eve of 2017, I think it was, going into 2018. And she was just like, I love you, I love what you're doing. She was an older woman, and so she kind of adopted me as like her younger sister. And basically, she was just like, we're gonna meet one day. Like, we're gonna do amazing things. And I just written my book, and she was getting ready to write her book. And she's like, I'm working on my book, I've been procrastinating on it, I haven't gotten around to it yet. And New Year's Eve, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. New Year's Eve, December 31st, that year, I see a post that she passes away. I was heartbroken. One, because I didn't get a chance to see her, but two, because there's so many unfulfilled dreams that she never got a chance to fulfill by procrastinating, by waiting around, by thinking that she wasn't good enough, by wondering if anybody would listen. And so I'm telling you this now because tomorrow is totally not promised. You have so much vested in you, so much deposited in you, that so many of you are afraid of what other people are going to think that you don't even show anybody all of the amazingness that's in you. And so I want to leave you here today on Wellness Day because about being well, right? And the way you are well is by showing people who you are authentically, fully, amazingly, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I made that up. I made that up because I can never say it. And so whenever I say it, it comes out wrong.
I love her so much.
But as amazing as you are, I want you to recognize, and I don't want you to be in a space, because tomorrow is not promised, that everything that is inside of you, you will make an effort today to try to figure out what it is, and you will make an effort to connect with those who are in this room. This is for the adults as well. There are dreams inside of you that you have not yet thought about. You're like, oh, I don't know if I have time yet. You don't have time, which means you need to start today. And so here's what I want you to remember. Tomorrow is not promised. You have everything that you need in order to take the first step. You are amazing. You are awesome. You have purpose. If there was ever a doubt in your mind that you existed or that you didn't know why you were here, I'm here to tell you that you're here for a reason. And more importantly, that you do matter. I want you to say that with me as I leave. Say, I do matter. I do matter.
I do matter. Say it, Alice.
Now yell it. I